down where it says, where it starts with fibrous tunic. What does fibrous tunic, what does tunic mean?
Encasement.
Encasement, shell, coat, right? It's the outer layer. Fibrous tunic is the outside layer of your eye. So if you touch an eye, you're touching fibrous tunic. It has two parts. Part of it's this white stuff. What do you call the white of the eye? Sclera. So the white of your eye is the sclera, which is in the fibrous tunic. Then you have this clear thing where your contacts go. Cornea. So the sclera and cornea are part of the outside coat, or fibrous tunic. So far so good? Those are just subdivisions. So cornea and sclera make fibrous tunic. Let's cut into you. Give me just a second. I'm going to do something. Does this work? Actually, go this way. Yeah. So now we're going to cut into your eye. It's a hollow tennis ball. Your eyes really are hollow, more or less. And so you notice there's some layering. So fibrous tunic is the outer layer. We have two more. What do you call the second layer down, the deeper layer? The uvea or vascular tunic. They're synonymous. I learned vascular tunic in the Dark Ages. That's what I know. All right, so we have the vascular tunic or the uvea. So now you have some different layers in there. So you have the one on the back of the eyeball. Let me change the picture here. Posterior view. So here's that layer. And boy, it has a lot of blood vessels on it. That's why it's vascular. What do we call the back part of the eyeball in the vascular tunic? The choroid. Where else have you heard choroid? Choroid plexus, because that's where the blood vessels were. Choroid is sort of a catch-all for bloody stuff. So that's your choroid area, is the back of the eye. Right? Then we're going to look at the front of the eye, inside. Let's coggle you. Okay, inside, you don't want that one. Inside the eye, you're looking forward. You'll have to sort of imagine with me that this blue layer would wrap around and come down toward the front of your eye. And there's stuff in there. There's all this little black crud right here. Number 45, basically. What is number 45? Ciliary bodies, which contain the muscles and processes. So ciliary bodies are those little lines inside your eye. That's what they are. They're part of that layer as well. And then, if you keep going down, the ciliary bodies eventually become this big, funny-looking colored thing in the center of your eye. What do you call the colored part of your eye?
Iris.
That's your iris. What's the hole in the center of that called?
Pupil.
The pupil. That's all part of that layer. So the ciliary bodies, the iris pupil, and the choroid all form the vascular tunic. So far, so good? All right. So now we're going to zoom on down to the sensory layer, or tunic. That's the innermost part of the eyeball. Let's find that. Where am I going? Cut. Okay, so we're going to the pink layer in here. The the most deep. Okay?
What were we just looking at, the blue layer?
You're looking at the blue layer,
Okay.
the middle layer. This is the sensory layer or sensory tunic. Okay, so we're going to just name, what do you name all the pink stuff? What is that thing called the back of your eye? Neural layer or the retina, they're synonymous. So neural layer, retina, they're sort of the same thing.
Neural?
Neural or retina, they're basically the same idea.
The whole back.
Whole back of your eye. So the retina is basically most of the sensory tunic. Then you have some things in there. Ooh, number 31 is a big hole in your eye where the wires come in and out. That's your optic disc, that's your optic nerve, that's your blind spot. The optic nerve makes the blind spot right here, number 31. Right? Then there's another little spot, number 36, that's in the center of my eye. It's a little spot. You know what the little spot is called?
Your optic disc.
Nope. Macula lutea.
What is it?
The macula lutea. So the optic disc is the big yellow spot. The macula lutea is the little spot. And what do you call the center of your macula lutea? The fovea centralis. That's the center of the little spot in the center of my eye. It'll make more sense next week. It really will.
And the optic disc and the macula lutea are not on top of each other.
They're not on top of each other. The optic disc is to the side. The macula is in the center of the eye. So the optic disc and optic nerve and blind spot are usually off to one side. The macula and fovea are right smack in the center. If you look straight at something, the image actually goes on the macula. So far so good on that little mess in there? Okay, let's find a lens. Can someone tell me a lens? What number is lens? 22. So cornea was 6. Lens is the second thing back. That's number 22. It's also part of that layer. So you have a lens in there. And now let's do this view, just to show you something more. So number 22 is my lens. So we have this beautiful scalloping. I love this. It's so pretty. What is that?
Something serratus.
Or serrated. Ora serrata. That's your ora serrata. That's the serrated edge between the retina and the lens. That's sort of a serrated edge. Ora serrata.
And does that just help keep the lens fixed?
Not so much that, just that's the way your eye's built. It just has a scalloping where the retina attaches.
It's between the what?
It's between the retina, which is the pink stuff, and basically the lens. It's just a scalloping edge.
So like, because your retina comes around this way.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of makes this little, it's like where you sew on your retina, basically. You okay on those? Now comes the ugly stuff. This bottom